Okay, so zooming in on the top, trig. There we go. Okay, trigonometry. What is trigonometry? The word trigonometry comes from two Greek terms, trigon meaning triangle. So Tori said that this didn't have anything to do with geometry, but it does. Trigonometry is all about triangles. Right, Tori? Okay. And metron meaning measure. The study of trigonometry involves triangle measurement. Okay, so a trigonometric, I don't know how to say that word, ratio is a ratio of the lengths of two sides of a right triangle. So the triangles do have to be right triangles for these ratios to work. So if you're going to use trigonometry, make sure it's a right triangle, meaning it has a 90-degree angle. Okay, so relationship between the sides and angles of a triangle. So again, just building the foundation here. You see this little symbol right here? That is a theta symbol. In this packet for the next 2 pages, this is like your designated angle. Sometimes you'll see a theta symbol, sometimes you'll see an arc designating that angle, but that means that you're focusing on finding the measure of that angle. So if we were to find the measure of that angle, we would need to identify our hypotenuse on a right triangle. So the hypotenuse is always opposite the 90-degree angle. So this side of your triangle is the hypotenuse. Okay, but the other two sides, what are we calling those? There's 2 words here, opposite and adjacent. Opposite, that means opposite your designated angle. So it would be this side right here is your opposite side. Something that's kind of neat with this lesson is because it's new for everyone. Everyone's starting at the same level. You don't need to have any prior knowledge. We're starting from scratch. Then the next word is adjacent. Adjacent means right next to. So the side adjacent to this angle is this one. Okay. Now complete the following based off of the corresponding triangles below. So we have this triangle right here, and it shows that theta symbol right here, so we're going to be focusing on angle A. Which side is the hypotenuse? Well, the hypotenuse is opposite the 90-degree angle, so this is your hypotenuse. And that is segment AC. Which leg is opposite theta? Well, the side opposite is BC, yep. And then which leg is adjacent to theta? Adjacent means right next to. It is this one right here. AB. If adjacent, like just the word in general, means right next to, obviously your hypotenuse is right next to as well, but you always label your hypotenuse first because the other one right next to it is the adjacent side. Tori, I'm not re-explaining this, I'm sorry. If I'm going to spend all this time explaining it, I'm not doing it again. You got that, Tori? Tori! Rise and shine. Nope. Okay, watch the video later then. Okay. Next one, try it on your own. You already got it?
Do we always have the label down?
We're going to start abbreviating, but for now the whole word works. Paxton, did you write down your answers?
Mm-hmm.
Billy, did you write down yours?
What?
Did you write down these answers?
Yeah.
Okay. Billy, do you have your packet? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so your answers here, if you got it correct, should be PN, MN, and PM. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got mixed up.
Okay. So your designated angle, the theta right here, do that first. Label your hypotenuse first. So your hypotenuse is opposite the 90-degree angle, so it's right here. Then the opposite side from that angle is right here, so this is opposite. And then right here is adjacent. Okay, now we're moving to the next page. Okay, here we go, trigonometry. So I'm building the next part now. Sine, cosine, and tangent. This is the word like written out, sine, cosine, and tangent. When you look at the calculator, the buttons are like sin, or we still say sine, cosine, and tangent. They're just abbreviated as SIN, COS, and TAN. So your calculator should have those buttons. If it doesn't, then get one by Friday, or you can buy one of these for $2. So, sine, what is that? It's opposite over hypotenuse. What the heck does that mean? Okay, so here we have sine of A and sine of B. We're going to focus on sine of A. A is the angle. So looking at this triangle here, angle A, it's right here. That's our designated angle for this. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite that angle would be A. And then the hypotenuse of this triangle is C. So A over C. Then it asks for sine of angle B. So erasing this mark now. Now I'm focusing on angle B. Sine is opposite, so now the opposite side is B over hypotenuse, which is still C. Okay, and then I'm going to erase my marks. Okay, cosine. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So cosine of A, so angle A is what we're focusing on now, adjacent over hypotenuse. So the adjacent side is right here, it's B, and then the hypotenuse is C, so B over C. And then again, erasing this, now I'm going to focus on angle B, adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent now is A, and hypotenuse is C. And the third one is tangent. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. And I'm going to give you a way to remember all this in a second, so just kind of focus on the process. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. Tan of A, so now we're focusing on angle A again. Opposite, which is A, over adjacent, B. And then tan of B. So now this angle, opposite over adjacent, so B over A. So that's the process of setting it up. So how do I remember that sine is opposite over hypotenuse and cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse? There is this thing right here. I forgot what these are called. Sohcahtoa.
Cows.
What's that?
I don't know.
It sounds like some Indian name or something. Sohcahtoa. This is what you actually have to memorize, and if you memorize this, then you'll know the rest, and I'll show you how it works. Isn't it like acronym? Acronym? Is that
Yeah,
what? Is that it?
acronyms.
Okay. Acronym. It's an acronym.
Like SHIELD is an acronym.
Sounds good.
What's the acronym?
Okay, so how does this work? You have sine is opposite over hypotenuse. C for cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And T for tangent is opposite over adjacent. So if you remember Sohcahtoa, then you know all of this. So sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine equals A over H. And tan equals O over A. So pretty much on any test or anything or worksheet that you use trigonometry, you'll just write this on your page and you'll have everything you need. I even remember it like in college calculus. I'm still writing this on my paper.
You're in college still?
No, when I was in college. Yeah. Okay. So how do we use these ratios? Here it shows a right triangle. It shows that theta, so that's the angle that we're focusing on. Sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. So before we do this, let's just label our sides. Our hypotenuse is opposite the 90-degree angle, so this is H. Now we're going to start abbreviating. Label it H. Then your opposite side is right here. And then your adjacent side is right here. And
You erase that.
nope, I'm not going to erase it this time. Okay, so then sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse, so 3 over 5. Then cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, so 4 over 5. And tangent of theta is opposite over adjacent, 3 over 4. That's the gist. Okay, write each ratio as a fraction in simplest form. So this, we're going to do the same thing, but we do have to simplify our fractions if needed. We're focusing on one angle here, just the theta. So before I do all this, I'm going to label my sides. The hypotenuse is opposite the 90-degree angle, so that gets labeled first. Then opposite the designated angle is O. And then the side next to is A for adjacent. Then I can plug the numbers into the ratios. So 5 over 10, which divide by a common factor, and we get 1/2. Cosine adjacent over hypotenuse, 8 over 10. Simplify it. Then tangent opposite over adjacent, 5 over 8. And that one doesn't need to be simplified. Okay, next one. Try it. Try this one on your own. First step is to identify the angle you're working with and label the sides. If you finish, Gabriel, you can try these if you want. The ones below if you want to try. Did you guys finish this? Okay, so it should be 12/13, 5/13, and 12/5. Get that?
No.
Some of you did. Okay. So first thing says sine of theta, so this is the angle you're focusing on. First, label your hypotenuse. and then label your side opposite theta, and then adjacent. And then from there, you can plug in the numbers. And 12/5. Okay, so the last 6 problems, now we're kind of putting it all together. I would write this out, Sohcahtoa, so you have it to reference as you do the problems. We're going to do them together, but always just write that on the worksheet or test or whatever you're working on. Okay, so first of all, it says sine of A, so it wants us to focus on angle A. So that's right here. For angle A, our hypotenuse is right here. We have our opposite side and adjacent side. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So we're going to take 16 and put it over 20. And then simplify the fraction. Okay, then cosine of A. So looking at Sohcahtoa, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so A over H. So I'm going to pull A, which is 12 over 20, and then simplify. While I'm focusing on angle A, I'm going to jump to tangent of A so I don't have to like relabel my triangle. So tan of A is opposite over adjacent, 16 over 12. Four-thirds. Now that I have all the angle A ones done, I'm going to erase this and then relabel it for angle C. So angle C is now the one I'm focusing on. This longer side right here is the hypotenuse, the one opposite the 90. Then opposite the angle is O, and then adjacent. Cosine of C, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, A over H. So now 16 over 20. Simplify, we get 4/5. Tan of C, tan is opposite over adjacent. So 12 over 16, which can be simplified. And then sine of C, opposite over hypotenuse, 12 over 20. That's it. Okay, so today we're just focusing on the setup. What we're going to do from here to practice it is I have a worksheet that I'm going to have everyone do. I'm going to show you how to do the worksheet though before I hand it out while I have the recording on. Okay, so there's no like Schoology homework on this tonight. There'll be Schoology homework tomorrow once we're plugging things in the calculator. What I need you to focus on today is just getting the setup like really solid because that'll make the calculator part like that much easier. So I'm going to pass this out to you. You're going to do it for the rest of class and turn it in. And here's how it works. When you get the worksheet, and I know you don't have it yet, you're going to first write down Sohcahtoa on your paper. Because you're going to use this for all the ratios. So sine equals O over H. This stands for cosine equals A over H. And then tan equals O over A. And then you'll use this as you go through it. So for 1 through 3, it's asking all about angle A. So the first thing you're going to do is just identify that angle. So you'll make a little mark, and then you'll label the sides. So your hypotenuse is right here. You always label that first. Then you'll label the side opposite and adjacent. Then you'll go through sine of A, which is opposite over hypotenuse, is 5/13. So that is R. And then you can fill out the puzzle at the bottom as well. Cosine of A, which is A over H, is 12 over 13. So that's I. And tan of A, which is opposite over adjacent, 5 over 12. and that's E. So that's what you'll do. And then again, for first step, label, like mark the angle. Here I'm looking at angle B. Label your sides, hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. And then you'll use these to complete it. Okay, turn off the recording and then pass out the worksheet.